I remember it like it was yesterday. I had just entered Dalebrook Middle School, and young little Waylon S. Davis was like an ant among giants. I remember looking up at those 8th graders and thinking I was looking up the Burj Khalifa. I was just a child of 12 with a short little haircut and a big toothy grin, not yet subjected to braces. Most of all, though, I had hit the age where girls stopped seeming like cootie-infested monsters and instead became something I wanted to talk to for some reason. That autumn was the worst of it. That autumn, I fell in love. Her name was Samantha Johnson. Long, dirty blonde hair flowed down from her head. Braces sat on her teeth, and she was just as goofy as me. She had been in my class practically every year during grade school. In kindergarten, I experienced love at first sight when I sat next to her on the first day. I pulled out all the stops to woo her over. On Valentine's Day, I gave her the best thing a 6-year-old boy could think up. A box of chocolates with Darth Vader's face on it. I was a charming little devil. As 3rd and 4th grade rolled around, though, I dropped my feelings after quickly being informed that, quote, girls were yucky. At the time, I believed this was a good life principle to follow, unless if you wanted to have to do something dull, like play with dolls, or, heaven forbid, they gave you a makeover. Yet, as 5th grade rolled around and all the guys started looking in a different light at girls, I, following the crowd, did so as well. That is not to say that I was just about to go up and say that I liked her. No, sir, that was practically suicide. I couldn't outright deny it either. Then she might not think I was interested. Instead, I did something far smarter. I hired my best friend, Calvin Story, as my lawyer, to tell them that I pled the 5th any time someone asked. I was quite the little diplomat. I had gotten lucky with what classes I had, as I shared a lot of them with her. This didn't help my academics, as we spent most of that time lollygagging, her putting her hair up in a big bun at the top of her head and bobbing it around, and me talking under my breath while the teacher was teaching, but I didn't care that the mitochondria was the powerhouse of the cell. I had a crush on a girl. It was a happy little existence, until one day the school dance came around. News about this dance seemed to rip through the school like a wildfire. All the lovebirds were filled with ecstasy, and all the awkward kids had a feeling of dread wash over them. Dances meant romance. Romance meant girls, and girls meant having to speak to one. It was like something ripped out my gut and folded it up into a pretzel. I decided in my head I wouldn't ask her. I couldn't ask her. Unfortunately, the wave of popular opinion was against me. Every guy in my elementary school class who had a crush on a girl asked a girl out. Jacob asked Gabriella. Jackson asked Sharon. Heck, Mix Trenton asked out Alicia a good 5 times. She never said yes to that rebel-rousing football player, but he certainly had the guts. Finally, I thought to myself, I gotta at least try to talk to her. I approached her. She was a brace-faced goddess. Suddenly, I felt a lump in my throat build up. My palms were clammy, and I realized I needed to buy deodorant. Hey, Samantha! She began to fiddle with her hair and replied back in an uneasy voice. Hey, Waylon. So, I persisted with the first thing I could think of. How's life? Good. You? Good. An awkward pause began to ensue, so I said, how's your week been? Good, she replied. You? It's been good. That's good. It's always good to have a good week. Yeah, that's what they say. So, how's your month been? I blurted out. I immediately knew this was getting out of hand. Evidently, that natural-born charm and charisma of my 6-year-old self was wearing off. I just wanted to out-and-out say it, but I didn't have the guts. Of course, I thought to myself, I could never ask her out to the dance in this conversation. Everything was all wrong. The lighting wasn't particularly appealing. There were way too many people around, and my body had a strange, unknown odor. No, I, the brilliant general that I was, would wait until the perfect moment to strike. For 3 days I waited. No, that's putting it too softly. For 3 days I stalked her. I am shocked some teachers didn't suggest a restraining order. I followed her every moment of the day, just 20 paces behind, waiting for the right moment. Every moment never proved to be the right one. I always thought of some reason why it wouldn't work. I was not wearing the right clothes. Too many people were around. She was already in a conversation. The list ran on and was endless. Like a puzzle builder, I was waiting to find that perfect piece in a pile of 1,000. Finally, I threw in the towel. I told Calvin I wasn't gonna ask her. It just wasn't worth it. She wasn't gonna say yes. I didn't want to embarrass myself. I began to research monasteries to live out the rest of my days as a celibate and monk, now that I knew I wasn't gonna ask her. As much as I had given up on love, another man, Mix Trenton, had not. Mix was a lot bigger than me. I was a tiny little soccer player, and Mix was a football player and born to play the game. He was the Hulk with golden hair. To tiny little Waylon Davis, if I ever fought with him, it was like David and Goliath. I had a little bit of a love-hate relation with him. He was louder and more boisterous than me, which always created a tension with small, mild-mannered Waylon, especially in my awkward middle school years. Mix approached me with a smile and a grin. "Hey, Waylon, I want to talk to you," he bellowed out like a trumpet. That kid always put me on edge, but I replied, "Yeah, about what?" "So, you heard about the school dance, right?" "Well, yeah, everybody's heard about the dance, right? I mean, it's the biggest thing in the world, and of course, one couldn't not know about that. And you like Samantha, don't you?" "Well, hey, now I guess I sort of do, yes." "Good. Are you gonna ask her out?" It was like I'd been pushed to the edge of the Empire State Building and told to jump. No, it was worse than that, because at least if you jump off the Empire State Building, you end up dead. I had to live with this inevitable rejection for the rest of my life. I fell into a rapid-fire stammering. I brought up 1,000 different excuses and arguments, only to end flatly with no. Mix was not the type of guy to take no lightly. Just asked Alicia. What he did next still shocks me to this very day. That fella picked me up like a daisy and threw me on his back. He marched straight into the cafeteria room, carrying me on his shoulder. I didn't know what to do. I was flabbergasted. He plunked me down straight into the chair next to Samantha, still with his arms holding me down. "Now listen, kid," he whispered coolly in my ear. "I'll let you go when you ask Samantha Johnson to the dance." I am sure every last fear in my body bubbled up into my face as I sat there. I blurted it out. "Samantha, would you like to go to the dance with me?" I watched her for a moment. She was playing with her hair and looking down at the table before her. I noticed something shocking. She was just as scared as me. She replied with a happy, "Sure." I went to that dance with Samantha in the finest velvet suit I had. I was the happiest kid in the room when I walked into that dancing hall, her sweaty, uneasy hand in mine. I ended up becoming her boyfriend. Our conversational abilities didn't get much better at first, but eventually we got the hang of it. Like all things middle school, it ended, of course. But we lasted longer than most middle school loves do. I still look fondly on those childhood 6th grade years. Perhaps I wasn't the bravest kid, but I did go to bed that night, a little braver than when I began.